Direct Diane and tell her what to do because you are in charge. Whether you
But
know
I
it or not.
trust her implicitly.
I do, because she's a professional.
I trust her with every
Yeah.
detail.
Yeah, Chuck, I'm letting you do this to me. You know I'm gonna kill you. Okay, go. We have speed.
Okay, speed. All right, I'm gonna take a line from the movie, and somebody asked me, well, "Can I have a reaction to the film?" And I said, "Extraordinary," because it was somebody says that in the movie, and I wrote that down. I said because I had no idea what this movie was about going in. It was just a busy time of the year,
Right? Yeah.
and it was just such a wonderful story, and so wonderfully done. But on a personal level, I have to ask you about one particular scene because I used to be a printer. I started off as a printer,
Right.
and I was fascinated at the old printing presses.
Yeah.
Were those functional presses?
They were. They were. We just happened upon this one guy. He's an American guy actually in London who runs this printing museum, I guess. And he sees it as his role in life to preserve all these old style printing presses. And it took a lot of work to get them up to the operating level that we had to have them at for our scenes. But they are the real thing. They do really operate, and they're fascinating to watch in operation.
Yeah, is it as a director? Do you find those little things like that to be more interesting? I mean,
yeah, really inspiring. You know, that guy with the printing presses also had a type foundry that was of that period, where it was all this hot molten lead that was being, you know, they were typing in the text for they had to print, and it was all coming out in molten lead. And you know, in this day of computers where you know you do it all on word processors, to see the sort of mechanics of that early, you know, what it took to make a book at that point, it's just astonishing.
I used to operate a printing press for years when I first got started up. Now, talking about the way technology has come, I mean, this movie in the 1900s, 1901, if I'm not mistaken, it takes place in such a simpler time. And I would imagine, you know, you get this wonderful script, and and they talk about the lake house and everything. But when you actually go up to, or you find a location similar, do you ever just stop and look and go, wow? Because it looks beautiful on film. I can't even imagine what it's like to be there.
It is beautiful to be there. But the house that they spent their time in the lakes, the house that we used as the location, was actually one of the houses where Beatrix holidayed as a child. And the owners of that house have kept it, somehow out of some sort of respect for Beatrix and her work, have kept it exactly the way it was then. And they took me round the grounds of that house and showed me in Beatrix's books, this is the background to this painting. You know, you see this little building here and this little path, and it was astonishing just to be able to look at these pictures that Beatrix painted, and here was what she was painting. It's just incredible.
Now, as I listen to you talk and you hear me talk, the excitement of this wonderful film, and do you ever? I mean, is it tough to let it go? I mean, because it just seemed to me that it's a joy to watch. It must have been a joy to make.
It was.
Is it tough to like walk away from everything and just?
Well, in a way, but you know, if you don't walk away, it doesn't get seen. You know, so you bring up your children and then you let them out into the world, and it's what they do in the world that's the real thrill. You know, and that's what it is with my film. That you know, you let this film out into the world, and you wish it well, and you hope it seeks it. You know, hope it finds its fortune, and you know that it does well. But it's up to the film now. You know, I can't help it.
Well, you talk about is it a easier joy making this baby and finishing it, or is it more of a joy to show somebody the finished product?
It's very hard to differentiate between the two. You know, they're so interconnected. It was a real pleasure to make the film, and I had so many good times with it and so many great people to work with. But you know, you have sort of you're making this film for a reason. You're making this film to have an effect on people, and you want people to sort of be moved by it and so on. And so
guilty.
There is nothing more satisfying, I suppose, than sort of sitting there and sitting in an audience and feeling them respond in the way that you were hoping they would.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
And you too. Thanks.